Welcome to the Ant-Man channel on this Monday night, the 4th of February 2013. And yes, I put a big emphasis on the R in February because that's how you pronounce it. Let's get the English language back, you guys. No more of this y'all, what it is and all that. It's embarrassing. You're embarrassing yourself. Let's let the cultures have their own little cultural benefits of the way that they talk with one another or whatever, but it starts to get stupid when we all start to mimic each other and it sounds dumb. Like, I'm not racist. I would like to put this on the record because I know everyone likes to think everyone's racist, and it's bull crap. I'm not gonna confess that I'm racist. I'm not racist, man. I'm not. And you know what though? It's funny because I forgot why I even brought that up. I lost my thread. Thank you very much. No, but what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something about how man, totally lost my thread. Anyways, Secrets INS report shocking details on Amnesty unreleased document assembling during Clinton era. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm not racist, but the N-word. When anybody but an African American uses that word, it sounds ridiculous. You guys, come on, really, come on. Can we turn our brains back on? Is there how does that work? Are your minds so fluoridated that you can't nothing gets through anymore or what? I don't get it. I don't get it and I don't want to. But anyway, by Albert Thompson. Albert Thompson is a military historian, defense and foreign policy analyst, and WND staff commentator. You can read his blog at politijunk.com. This is from Washington. A report suppressed by the INS provides highly embarrassing and potentially politically explosive reading for current immigration reform advocates because it concludes the 1986 amnesty actually caused an increase in illegal immigration. That's because the report explains it acted as an incentive to persons who hope to take advantage of a future amnesty. Critics fear the current proposals suggested by Senator Marco Rubio, Republican of Florida, and others would do the same. A review of the unreleased Clinton-era immigration and naturalization service report reveals that the 1986 amnesty caused a rise in the number of unauthorized entries into the United States in the years immediately following. However, the report also concludes that the public expressions of opposition to immigration, in particular the California Proposition 187 measure, likely were contributing factors in the decline in the rate of illegal entry after 1990. In addition to the hope for a second amnesty, the INS drew another conclusion from the data that it collected as to why the rate of illegal entry increased. It said the Immigration Reform and Control Act of 1986, IRCA, was responsible for the increase in unauthorized entry to the United States in 1988-89, partly because during those years the rates of females entering the United States illegally increased to twice the 1987 rate. These women entered the United States to join their male partners and family members who had been granted amnesty, in many cases bringing children with them. The report said the addition of these families increased the strain on limited American resources, the report said. With U.S. unemployment still high and the shrinking of the GDP, immigration control advocates are concerned that the Rubio plan will lead to further budgetary hardship. The Rubio plan is considered by some to be Amnesty Part 2. The INS report also presents data that shed light on the apparent decrease in illegal entrance to the United States in the early 1990s. According to the data, the illegal alien entry rate decreased because the IRCA made it easier for the spouses of Mexican-born residents to obtain immigrant visas. As a result, they did not have to enter the United States illegally, though hundreds of thousands of others continue to illegally enter the United States. The Immigration Act of 1990, passed under the George H.W. Bush, increased the annual number of immigrants' visas to the United States by more than 150,000 beginning in 1992. The increase in visas also reduced the number of unauthorized entries. However, it did not decrease the total number of persons entering the United States for those years due to continued illegal immigration. Based on this information, it allows that many of the persons who would have attempted to illegally enter the United States were the immigrants who utilized the entry visas, and they have charts here that you can go look at. Their charts, beaming from 1987 to 1996 on, how many, let's see, annual estimates of the number entering the unauthorized resident population by area of origin, and annual estimates of the number entering the Mexican-born unauthorized resident population by gender. The charts are all right here. You want to go look at this? It's secret INS. Report has details on Amnesty on WND.com. This is like pretty much a front pager. The INS also credited the American public's expressions of opposition to mass migration with the deterring unauthorized entries, specifically the passage of Proposition 187 in California in November 1994. Proposition 187 removed many of the incentives to illegally enter the United States. Dr. Stephen Camarota, the director of research for the Center for Immigration Studies, concurred with that conclusion. Look at the impact of the Arizona employer verification legislation. Look at the government's own assessment. In 2008, DHS estimated that the unauthorized population in Arizona was 560,000. In January 2011, there were 360,000 unauthorized residents in Arizona. At the same time, estimates for the country as a whole stayed the same. This is strong indication that Arizona legislation played a role in decreasing the unauthorized population. Both the California and Arizona measures were challenged in federal court. California Governor Gray Davis, a Democrat, refused to defend Proposition 187 in court. The Obama administration sued Arizona. The U.S. Supreme Court agreed to partially block the enforcement of the SB 1070 law. A national security concern is the Red Dawn scenario. It is unclear how the United States government could verify the identities of millions of unauthorized persons in the country. Critics say the large unauthorized population provides a hiding place for Mexican and Latin American intelligence agencies and terrorists. An additional danger comes from non-Latin American agents, some of whom included members of Islamic terrorist organizations who Eastern operatives may attempt to pass for Latin Americans to evade U.S. security measures. He said, "You are dealing with bureaucratic incapacity. The immigration system is currently overwhelmed," Camarota said. "There is no one to verify millions of identities. Do they know what the documents from Mexico look like? Maybe, but do they know what documents from Guatemala look like? 20% of the unauthorized population is not from Latin America. Would the average immigration agent be able to verify documents from Poland? It's a heads I win, tails you lose scenario, because even when they identify fraud, they will not go after the people who don't qualify. Those persons will continue to live in the U.S. illegally as they are doing now." He said, like the legislation in 2007, the new legislation will probably contain exemptions for prior fraud. Since 2001, foreign jihadist groups have increased their efforts to infiltrate the United States and avoid detection. Camarota was also skeptical of measures to include the payment of back taxes and requirements to learn English. There is no record to make people pay taxes. Or if there is a record, the employer would have to provide that. Even in those cases where you have the records, the amount most unauthorized workers earn place them below the tax threshold, so there's no tax to pay back. The requirements to learn English are not meaningful. It's something that will not happen. All that may be required is that illegal immigrants sign up for an English class. There is no enforcement. Well, wow, I wish I was an illegal immigrant. I wish that my entire, resume could get wiped clean and I could start over and I could just break laws and do whatever I want. It must be good to be a Mexican right now, because, I have these guys. I have these joke gangbangers on YouTube, like, try to comment and say, "We're coming for your country, ha ha ha." It's like, please, man, it's not like we don't know, dude. It's like, you know what I mean? We're not giving up the guns, so pretty much what I have to say to you gangbangers is come and get it. I don't care, you know what I mean? I'm just, what do I have to be afraid of, man? I have my own president against me. You think I'm scared of you? You're a low-level gangbanger. My freaking president is going to murder me one day. He doesn't like me. He really doesn't like me. He is absolutely tyrannical, and he is against everything that I stand for. And if you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. Moron gangbangers out there, wake up. You could be fighting for a valuable you could be fighting for honor instead of you know you're fighting for your own chains, the rest on your own. you know I mean, it's up to you. It's up to you out there. I mean, what side do you want to be on? The winning side, Mr. Barack Obama's second term? He's not going to live to see the end of it, man. He's not going to get to see the end of it, because we're going to impeach him before that happens. But anyway, don't be on the stupid, fake liberal, cowardly, brainwashing, manipulating, corrupt side. Be on our side, because we're not going to lose. There's no way we're going to lose. The only way we're going to lose is if we self-destruct. And you know what? That is up to God. That's not even up to Obama. That's up to God, whether we live or die. And I'm not scared of you, son. What?